Hello YouTube, I'm going to make a weight loss update. There has not been a lot of weight loss going on. I have completely sucked for the past week, basically, if I'm being really honest. I'm so annoyed with myself. I don't want to be making this video. I've been dreading making this video because I'm just annoyed with myself. So, alright, to the details. Okay, the last video that I made was on April the 5th, which was about a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago. Today's Tuesday, I made it on a Friday, yeah, so about a week and a half ago. And I had lost 3 pounds, and then that following weekend, I started kind of letting up and not being so strict with my diet, because I felt like I was being a little too strict with myself, like maybe it wasn't manageable. And I just wanted to eat what I wanted to eat. I mean, I'll keep it real. We went out, you know, to 2 different restaurants that weekend, once with family, and I don't know, I just wanted to eat what I wanted to eat, and I did, for the most part. I mean, I wasn't eating, like, as bad as I have been in the past. Like, my portions are still smaller. I'm still not drinking Coke. I'm not eating, like, crazy amounts of food, but I just wasn't making very good choices. So Sunday night, I thought, okay, Monday I'll get back on track. So Monday, all day long, I did really, really great. I tracked everything. I had like, 14 points. What is it about when you record yourself? It's like something gross always happens. I need to like itch my nose, clear my throat, whatever. Sorry. So Monday night, I had like, I think it was about 14 points left. And I ate dinner that was like 20 points, and it was so much because it was pasta with like fattening sauce. Why I ate that, I don't know, self-sabotage. I have no idea. Like I don't know what my problem is, because I know what to do and I know what to eat, but in that moment I just feel like, oh, I just want to eat what I want to eat. I'm just a big whiny baby about it, basically. So I did that. So then Tuesday, obviously, I felt pretty discouraged because I had kind of not a great weekend, not really on track, and then I kept doing stupid crap on Monday. And I did track like everything, so that's one good thing I can say. So as the week went on, my husband was like, hey, this Thursday there's this thing going on at our local university and it's kid friendly, do you want to go? And I was like, oh, Thursday's my weigh-in day, but in my head I'm thinking, oh, I've already kind of messed it up. And I know that's exactly the sort of thinking that you don't want to get into, or the sort of mindset that you don't want to get into. It's not helpful at all. But I let myself go there into that mindset. And so I was like, yeah, let's go, that'll be fun. So then I knew I didn't have my weigh-in on Thursday. So that just kind of continued this poor pattern of just me going over my points and I was doing pretty well for breakfast and lunch, and then as the day, you know, goes on, I would just, I don't know, not make very good choices. I'm trying to think of what else. I don't even know. It just sucked, and I'm just annoyed with myself. So I didn't go to my meeting on Thursday, so that was not a good idea. And since then, I've just kind of been on and off. Like, I'll wake up and I'll make a really good breakfast. I'll be eating really clean and on point, and then I kind of fall off. So what I want advice on, what I want opinions on is, well, anything that comes to your mind. And more specifically, I am having a hard time because, as I mentioned before, the approach that I'm trying to take this time around to losing weight is doing it like it's a lifestyle, doing things that I can do forever. I don't plan on tracking points or writing down everything I eat forever, but for the time being, I feel like that's an okay thing to do and it's helpful. But I want to be able to have things that I like in moderation. So that's the approach that I've been trying to take, and I thought that it was going really well. The problem that I'm having with that is I crave those things then. So like if I let myself have a small dessert, or sweet tea instead of unsweet tea, or like some kind of, like I love sourdough bread, like a little bit of that sort of kind of food, then I crave it. And I'm sure it's because of the sugar and those kinds of things. Like I know it's a physiological reaction, I assume, but I also think it's psychological because I just feel like, oh, I had it the other day and I haven't gained, so I can have it again, and it just kind of builds and things go further and further south. So the hard part is that in the past, when I have had short-term success with weight loss, I have done more extreme dieting, done more extreme dieting where I cut out carbs completely, or I went on a plant-based diet for a short period of time, things like that. And I don't think that that's bad. I just think if you can't do it for your whole life, then what are you going to do when you get to goal? What are you going to lose, or what are you going to do after you lose whatever amount of weight it is you want to lose? If you can't do it forever, then there's kind of no point, because then you gain it all back, and most of the time you gain more. So that's what I'm struggling with. It's like, where do I find this happy medium between letting myself have what I want within reason, in moderation, and then possibly craving those things? Or maybe should I take the approach of being on a more strict type diet to keep myself away from wanting those things? But then how do I get back to like having a normal life, Yeah, so if you have advice, if you've had, these thoughts or these kinds of issues, let me know, what you think about it, or what you do, what helps you, things like that. Also activity. I have attempted Couch to 5K. I did complete the first day. It was a lot more challenging than I expected. I almost don't want to say I completed it, only because on 2 of the parts where you run, I had to stop about 10 seconds before you're supposed to. So I don't know if that's considered completing the first day, but I feel like I completed it. In fact, I was kind of proud of myself, because I'm that out of shape that I was proud of myself just to be able to get out and do it. And I did it with a stroller too. So, better than nothing. So I am feeling encouraged by exercise. There was someone who commented on my last video. I think maybe your name is Andrea. I'm not sure. It's like an X and then Andrea, and you're pregnant, so congratulations. And you mentioned in the future, having exercise, whenever exercise can become, a bigger part of my routine, that I might be more encouraged, more motivated, because I'll see results. And I think you're absolutely right on. It's just a matter of pushing myself to make that a habit and really getting into it. So yeah, okay, so my weight. Sorry, I talked all this time and never mentioned my weight. That was probably on purpose, So I lost a pound and then gained the same pound back. When I weighed myself this morning, I was 238.0, like on the dot. And my last video a week and a half ago, I was 237.4. So technically, I have gained about a half a pound. And I thought I was down a pound, actually, but then I weighed myself yesterday and today and got the exact same weight, so 238 it is. So that sucks, and I am mad at myself. Anyway, okay, I think I already said it like 10 times, but I just want to put it all out there. I want to be honest. I feel like there's no purpose for me making these videos for myself or for anyone else that's watching if I'm not, just honest. Because this is part of the journey. I know some people have a lot more self-discipline than I do, but this is part of it. And in the past, I would give up. And what I'm really trying to do is just not be defeated, and just kind of push through and do the best I can. So today, so far, I've eaten very clean, and it's got to be around 2:30 or so by now. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. But yeah, any advice, any tips, anything like that, just let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Trying to think, one thing I am considering strongly is really cutting back on the carbs, other than fruit. I'm not a believer in cutting back on fruit really at all, unless it's, fruits that have a ton of calories in them, then, you want to eat them within reason or whatever. But most fruits and definitely vegetables I would not want to cut back on, but kind of like the Atkins sort of approach. I don't really know a lot about Atkins. I know they get a lot of bad press or bad reviews, but sort of that approach with fruit, I guess, because I'm assuming fruit's not a big part of that, and maybe that's where the criticism comes in. So yeah, what do you think about that? What do you think about cutting out carbs? Do you think that can be a long-term thing? Because I have doubts about that, but I know that weight loss will come if I do that. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.